Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Millenium Falcon from the Playskool Star Wars Galactic Heroes line. This is a really cool release. There's actually been a couple different releases of this. There was a special Toys R Us version that also came with C-3PO, which I really wish I had that version because I actually already have these three figures, but I don't have C-3PO. There was also a version I've seen online, but I've never seen in stores of Chewbacca and Rey with the same Millennium Falcon. And I guess that was for Force Awakens, but like I said, I've never seen that in stores, so that looked neat to me. I was kind of hoping to find that version instead of this one, but I just found this at Toys R Us, so it was 50% off. So I nabbed it for $22.50 instead of $45, which is a great deal. Like I said, I already have the figures. I have a 2-pack of Han and Chewie, which I've already reviewed for you guys, and then I had a single carded R2. But I really I felt like I needed to get the Falcon. The Falcon is such an iconic ship from Star Wars lore that, you know, it survives all through the original trilogy. It survives into this newest trilogy with Force Awakens and Last Jedi. So it's a classic ship, and I really felt like I needed to pick it up even though I already had the figures. So you can see kind of standard packaging here. Open for the ship. The figures are kind of open too, even though they're kind of tied in there. And then you get a radar dish, the cannon that goes on top, which is pretty cool. The side over here just kind of boasts some of the features. It does have kind of a carrying case feature where this piece slides out and kids can carry it around, or you can push it in and that actually unlocks it so you can open it up. Or if you just want kind of a more screen accurate version, you can leave it pushed in. But then the top will be able to open and close, but we'll get to that later. So here we go. Here is the back of the ship / playset. You have secret compartment. You have the cockpit over here. You have a trap door. You have the Jedi training droid, which is pretty cool. You have like a little table up here. You have a ladder. All kinds of cool stuff. It says, the Millennium Falcon has flown countless missions for the Rebellion, and she's ready to go head-to-head with the Empire. So there you go. And you can see it says over here, C-3PO figures shown not included. Because he is the only one that does not actually come with this set. I really feel like he should. I really don't know why you get R2 without 3PO. I feel like all 4 figures should have just come with every version of this. I don't know why 3PO became like a Toys R Us exclusive. I even bought this at Toys R Us, but I really need a 3PO figure because I don't have one. I'm very bummed about that. Because he looks great. What are you going to do? So let's go ahead. Let's get the Millennium Falcon out of the packaging here so we can take a closer look. So here is the Millennium Falcon out of the packaging. And I have to say it's pretty large and impressive. I like it a lot. I really do like the size of it. It can hold several figures inside. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to the Millennium Falcon in a second here, but let's take a look at the figures. Now, if you've seen my review of the Han Solo and Chewie 2-pack that I did, these figures really aren't any different. Here is the Han Solo from that pack. You can see that they're pretty much identical. There's really no way to tell the difference. So, if you already have that 2-pack, then the figure is going to be pretty much the same. But head can move from side to side. Wrists can swivel. You have the arm up and down movement, side to side. Bend at the waist. The usual movement for these figures. But still a very good looking figure. Mine has some paint discrepancies on the sleeves, but what are you going to do? Now this Chewbacca has 2 open hands, whereas the one from the 2-pack, oops, here we go, has a bowcaster. This one has 2 open hands, so at least they're somewhat different. So it's kind of nice that at least the figures, if you have the 2-pack of figures, you get a bowcaster. This one doesn't. But if they have accessories around, you can have Chewbacca hold them. His wrists swivel. He's got the usual shoulder movement. The head really can't move all that much, but he can bend at the waist. So he looks good. If you don't have a Chewie, this is a great one to add to your collection. Very, very nice. And then this is my first R2-D2. I do have one that I have a single carded one that I haven't opened yet. I might just keep that one because I believe they're exactly the same. But the head can swivel from side to side. And he's got a lot of great paint detailing on the head, the dome there. All the molding and details, all very nice. Now he has his like tripod leg down, and these legs are kind of bent, so you know he is in the perfect roll around pose. And these legs can move, but there's almost no reason to, because you can't really. I mean, I guess if you pitched him enough forward, he could kind of stand like that, but it just looks ridiculous. So unfortunately, you just kind of have to leave him in this pose. I wish maybe you could like unplug this, maybe that just pegged in, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I mean, he looks good in this pose, and he is in this pose quite a bit. So not a big deal. Like I said, I really wish the set also came with C-3PO, but nothing I can do about that. I'm going to put the figures off to the side so we can take a look at the outside of the Falcon itself. You can see the giant dome here, and this section can open by itself, so you can put one of the figures inside. It can only hold one, unfortunately, but there's a lot of space in there, so Han can fit, obviously. Chewie can fit too. So I appreciate that. I appreciate it's not too small for the larger figures. Anyone can fit inside there, which is nice. And it's just a very simple kind of chair. And there's a couple of controls and stuff molded in, which we'll take a look at more when we get to the inside section. But overall, the detailing and everything, like I said, very nice. Very nicely detailed all the way around, especially here on the top. You have these ports here that are very nice, very authentic. This is 3 stickers that you have to put here on the back for the kind of engine exhaust port, whatever you want to call that, thrusters, whatever term you'd like to use. Now, the one thing that does bum me out, these have really nice retractable legs. They can go right in there, and that's great. This one is in there, and I thought you could just like put it in and take it out, no big deal. But when I pushed it in, it was such an audible click. I don't think that's coming out of there. I really tried to wiggle it out, but at this point I'm just afraid I'm going to break it. Now, I think it's supposed to be like a handle, so kids could, you know, steer this thing around while they're flying it. And I mean, okay, for that, I guess it's all right. I appreciate that at least 2 of the legs can fold in. But I kind of feel like if you can do 2 of them, you know, wasn't there a way that this could have rotated back into here or something? Like, something surely could have been done. If you could do it with 2, there had to be a way you could do it with 3, but that's just my preference. I mean, the little handle gimmick is alright, but I wish it had completely retractable landing gear. That's my preference, but what are you going to do? I really like this detailing here for these. I think they did a great job with this. So you have these 2 pieces up top here. You have the radar dish, which can move from side to side and go up and down. This can come off, and you can place it inside when we get there. And also you have this gun turret on the top that can swivel. This also can come off and be placed inside. So we'll take those both off for now. And this, when you press the button on top, you can see it fire, like it's made to look like it's pulsating while it's firing the guns, which I think is pretty neat. Now, this doesn't have any up and down movement. It just has side-to-side spin. But I still think it's pretty cool. I like that feature like that, where they rock back and forth. So that's pretty much it for the outside. Now, how this works here, you can see this clear bar. I like to leave it open or leave it pushed against, because that's more kind of screen accurate to have the look of the Falcon like this. But if you pull it all the way forward, it's meant to be like a carrying case. And then once this is pulled forward, you cannot open this. And why that works is when you push this all the way back in, and we'll see there is 2 loops right here and here. So when you pull this forward, they go through the loops and then you can't open it. So you pull this forward, now the loops are engaged and it won't open. I like to just always keep it as close against the Falcon as possible, just because I like the look, obviously, that the Falcon's meant to have. But yeah, overall, I do like the ship mode. I wish this could retract. That's really my only complaint. Otherwise, I think it's a fun little Millennium Falcon ship. So let's go ahead, we'll open it up and check out the playset inside. So making sure that the plastic bar is all the way against the ship, you can lift this section back to unveil the playset. So you have this downstairs kind of, normal area, and then you have this part up here on the top. We're going to focus on that first. I'm going to adjust this and zoom in a bit here. So this is kind of just a normal table up top, which you can just kind of have figures gather around. But what the table actually does is control the Jedi probe down below. So if you have a Luke Skywalker figure, sold separately, unfortunately, he can be down here. And, you know, the probe can be moving around and he can be training, as seen in the movie, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the ship does have a couple areas where you can see little clips, and it's almost like there are accessories that are supposed to clip on. And I swear I've seen pictures online where there are little wrenches and things like that, tools that it was supposed to come with. And I'm wondering if that was an earlier version of the toy, and that just wasn't included in this version that I have here, unfortunately. Now, you also have this ladder, which you can get the figures to clip onto. And then they can, whoops, or not, they can completely fall right off. It can be done, I promise. There we go. So you can have them climb the ladder like that. The ladder it's a little cheesy in my opinion, just because it can lift right off, as you see right there. So it's just these two little pegs that just kind of peg into two little holes right here. And then the rest of it just kind of sits. Like this kind of clips in place. It's just very loosely clips in place. So just be aware of that. It's not a problem because it's not like it has to be super sturdy, but just be aware of that. The main plane feature up here is the table moving the Jedi training probe around all over the place. So I'm going to move it down now so we can take a look at the downstairs. So down here you kind of have the main part of the ship. The figures can kind of relax around here. You can see they have kind of this couch in the background. They can't really sit on it. I mean, you can kind of do like a half, like lean against it. So it kind of looks like they're sitting there, which is kind of fun. Now you can put the giant gun turret here in the center. If you want to pretend this is like a base, and then this way they have some defenses. And you can kind of have it aim out this way. I don't personally like that because I kind of like to believe that, you know, you're just seeing inside the ship. So I would leave that on the top. You could also put the giant satellite dish here. Again, I don't really like that. There is also a section I forgot to show. Real quick, we'll take you back up. You can put the satellite dish up here as well. There's a little spot right there. And that kind of looks okay. I don't mind that so much. But the giant blaster here in the center just kind of looks a little ridiculous to me. Now you can see there's a couple stickers around here. There's one right here as well. They're not terribly amazing stickers, to be honest. You do apply those yourself. I like this sticker here. It's probably my favorite of the interior stickers. And you can see down here, they have these little plastic monsters on this board to simulate the hologram game that they play in the movie. That's a really nice touch to me. I think they did a really great job with these two little creatures here. Really nice. I like that a lot. Really fun. So there's not a ton of features down on this floor. There is a smuggling section. A little panel underneath here. And you can fit a figure down there. So if you want to try to smuggle Han, you can close that up. So I think that's pretty cool. Again, to simulate the scene from the movie where they hide when they get boarded by the Empire. So I like that they had a little smuggling hold down there. That's pretty cool. Now, of course, if you come over to this side, and we swivel this around, you can see you can push these down, and the ramp will extend. So the ramp comes down about that far. Pretty much it just hits the ground and it stops. And I don't know why, but this to me is always a problem with Millennium Falcon toys. That boarding ramp never quite comes down far enough. Like, if this is the figure, it should, like, this little piece here should be able to fold away, or maybe this piece could slide up or something like that, like on a little track would be perfect. It's just, it's always a little bit difficult. Now, don't get me wrong, he can fit up in there. It's not a problem. I just feel like they could make it a little bit easier for them to board. But I think that's still pretty cool. They have the ramp, so they can use that to get on and off the ship from the side. And then when they want to close it, it comes up. And then these struts just kind of hang out right here, which is not a problem. And then, of course, we have the cockpit, which opens up. And like I said earlier, there's a couple of molded in little details. It's a little hard to see. I'm going to see if I can get some extra light in here. You can kind of see just some of the molded in controls, which I think is pretty neat. There's no stickers over there, but there is some molded in controls. And I do really appreciate, like I said earlier, that even the larger figures like Chewbacca can fit in this area. And this will close completely over top of them. And you can see from the side how much room there is in there. And again, let me get some more light because it is dark. So you can see he fits in there quite easily, which I appreciate. I would love if you could fit 2 characters in the cockpit, just because in the movie there's always, I mean, sometimes there's 4, but there's always at least 2. But I completely understand. I mean, you can only make these things so big. So I appreciate that it's at least big enough to hold any of the figures you'd want to put in there. So that's really cool. I believe that's it for features for this. Like I said, there's a lot of stickers in this down lower area. I love the little board for the game that they play. And there's more of these like fake couch area for them to play that. And then again, here's more of those clips. And I apologize because my camera is getting wonky now. But you can see here there's more of these clips for like I saw like a long wrench that clipped into this area. And they don't have that anymore. Whoa, that was the wrong choice. Okay. But yeah, so like I said, I think that there were earlier versions of this toy that came with more accessories. Or maybe it was the Rey and Chewie version. There's been a couple versions of this toy, but I still think it's really neat. It doesn't have a million play features, but it's got the smuggler's hold. It's got the little hollow board. It's got the boarding ramp. It's got the cockpit. It's got the... Oh, I forgot a feature. I apologize. If we're up here again, where the Jedi training module, there's actually a trap door right here. So I don't know why you would want to make anyone fall down while they're training, but you certainly can. He can be training, and there's nothing to set it off. You just kind of have to push it yourself. But he can fall down the trapdoor. So that is a feature. The ladder is a little cheesy, but I feel like it holds in place well enough that it's not a problem. And I don't specifically love these giant pieces being used on the inside, but again, it's all personal preference. So if that's something you enjoy, it's certainly an option that you have. So I feel like it's a decent amount of features for a playset this size. But also, it's just really cool to have the iconic Millennium Falcon in size and scale for your Playskool figures. And I really do like the look of this sticker for the giant thruster on the back. So honestly, if I had to nitpick the set, if there were things I was going to complain about, I don't love the ladder. I think that's a little rickety. And I really wish this piece of landing gear could fold in. And I really wish the set came with C-3PO. Those are probably my 3 biggest nitpicks, and they're really not that big a deal. I think this set is a lot of fun. Is it totally worth the original asking price of, $40 to $45, depending on where you pick it up? I don't know. That's going to be really up to you guys. I got it at Toys R Us with the 50% off sale, so to me, it's definitely worth $22. I think it's totally worth it for that. I think it has enough fun play features as a base. I think it looks fantastic as the Falcon, and it's fun. You can definitely fit a good number of figures inside, even closed up with all the playset pieces inside and everything like that. So I think it's fun. If you can find it for $20 on sale at Toys R Us, I can't recommend it enough. I believe Hasbro Toy Shop still has it available for the full price of $39.99. So, you know, if they have a 20% off sale or something like that with free shipping, which they have from time to time for Star Wars stuff, that would be a decent deal as well. You get it for about $32 before shipping. But I think it's fun. I really do. There's definitely a lot that I like about this, and only a few things that I find annoying, and they're really not deal breakers. I mean, the biggest thing to me is I wish the landing gear piece retracted, and it's really not that big a deal. I understand what they're going for with the handle feature. Just personally, it's not my favorite. But if you're going to display it, you're probably going to display it with the landing gear down most of the time, and kids are going to be playing with it either as a playset or, you know, flying it around as a ship, so then they'll be holding the kind of little landing gear slash joystick. So it should not be that big of an issue. So I like this thing. I really do. I think it's fun. Yeah, I wish it came with C-3PO. That's my other biggest gripe, but I wish it came with a lot of figures. In any case, I definitely recommend it. If you can find it for a good price, especially on sale at Toys R Us, heavily recommend it if you don't already have it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share the video. Please subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Millennium Falcon from the Playskool Star Wars Galactic Heroes line. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.